What's up, everybody? It's the Common Sense Investor coming at you with another video. In this video, we're going to talk about the new proposed settlement that I am proposing to the court. Okay, I have read over every page of this case. All right, I've read the proposed settlement, which was garbage. They want 1 for 7.5. They want to give AMC shareholders 1 share of AMC for every 7.5 shares that they own. That's unacceptable. And then you're going to walk away with $20 million. My ass hurts if that happens. All right. So what I've done is, first, I objected to the settlement plan. That's my letter of objection. I'll be filing that and mailing it directly to the court, even though I know I'm not supposed to, but I'm doing that so that you will see it and understand what I'm saying. You will be able to view what my proposed settlement is. I'm going through it right now, but I want it where everybody can see it. What I've done is I've structured an argument here that shows that Adam Aaron mishandled the distribution of the preferred equity unit. All right, and here's the argument, and I talk about the class members being deceived. All right, I talk about the Antara deal. I talk about being deceived. Now, this is important. A lot of people don't realize this. It says class members deceived. Ask any member of the class. They believe the APE shares in their accounts are equivalent to 1 share of AMC Class A common stock. And this is not so. Why are shareholders confused over the difference between AMC preferred share versus AMC preferred unit? Because CEO Aaron never clarified the difference. He continued to let shareholders believe, and even encouraged them to believe, that what they held was in fact worth 1 AMC stock. And it's not, people. Sure, CEO Aaron can point to several SEC filings that state the difference, but your common retail investor does not know how to properly interpret such complicated filings. And here we are in this mess today. Simply put, Adam Aaron did not clarify the rights of the preferred share, and he didn't communicate those rights to the shareholders. And then I go right here and I say, is APE legal? All right. One matter before the court is rather the creation of AMC's preferred shares were legally created or not. It should be noted that although AMC preferred equity units were created and used to circumvent the wishes of shareholders, this class member does not challenge the legality of APE shares, no matter how immoral the act of creating it may have been. I say that the APE shares are legal. All right, they were created as an anti-takeover matter, but they were created legal. All right, and that's why I say no matter how immoral the act of creating these were, whatever the intentions of Adam Aaron was at the time, they are legal. AMC preferred equity units were created legally and did what it was intended to do: raise much needed capital to help AMC theaters weather the pandemic storm. However, the class members also believe CEO Aaron has mismanaged the distribution of the preferred shares. According to the court documents, it was Citigroup that approached AMC with a concept called Project Popcorn. The plan was rather simple. Shareholders had refused on several occasions to allow the defendants to issue a diluted block of common stock. Therefore, they had a plan that could help AMC raise capital now and worry about dilution at a later time. Mr. Van Zandent explained that the company was short on common shares, but they had 50 million preferred shares which might be used to raise cash. It was here that AMC began to plan an offering of preferred shares to its retail stockholders through a rights offering, which are common in Europe but less so in the U.S. Citigroup laid out the framework. 1 AMC preferred unit would convert into 1 share of common stock subject to the shareholders' authorization. There was nothing nefarious about this. All right, it becomes nefarious, but at the creation, at the discussion of how to do it, this is not nefarious yet. Citigroup, blah, blah. It was a brilliant strategy. AMC could raise the needed capital to keep its company going without diluting the value of its common stock, and shareholders would have a say in the decision to convert the preferred units into Class A common stock. Period. Beautiful plan. Raise money now. We'll worry about dilution when the time comes, which could be next year sometime. But the point is, you can raise cash now and convert or dilute later. All right? So, when you're on a better foot. So, watch this is good. Defendant Goodman suggested that registering 1 billion preferred equity units would be a reasonable approach for raising capital, and 517 million shares or units would be reserved for Class A common shareholders as a special dividend who are the owners of the company's stock. Still nothing nefarious happening. Goodman said, I like the plan, but let's give a share of the APE to all shareholders as a special dividend. Great plan. The defendant Merriweather expressed his concern that AMC had to find a balance between raising capital and not upsetting shareholders with excessive dilution of their shares. He suggested that there might be a sweet spot in the middle ground, if you will, that would allow the company to raise the necessary capital without causing too much dilution. Okay? Essentially, the defendants were trying to find a way to raise capital for the company while minimizing the negative impact on existing shareholders. Perfect plan. Perfect plan. Create the preferred shares. All right? Give them out as a special dividend. Sell them at the money offerings. Raise the capital you need. And sometime in the future, we can convert them back into AMC. This is a beautiful plan. All right? Now, let's keep going. On July 27th, Defendant Aaron wrote a letter to the board promoting the use of preferred equity units as a single most impactful action that AMC will take in all of calendar year 22. And he's right. He is right. This was the most impactful thing that we could have done for AMC. It was a beautiful plan. The plan was to use the APEs to raise capital without diluting the value of the company's common stock. However, instead of focusing on this plan, Defendant Aaron saw an opportunity to use the APEs to reward his friends with a large payout. APEs were designed to be a way to raise capital for the company. Instead, Defendant Aaron used the APE units to circumvent the wishes of the shareholders, and unfortunately, the plan that Citigroup had suggested failed because CEO Aaron did not fully understand how preferred shares work. Okay? It was a beautiful plan. Goodman liked it. Merriweather liked it. The board liked it. Hell, I like it. You like it. It's a beautiful plan. Until Adam Aaron used it to benefit his friends like Antara, where they have now made over $100 million selling their APE, and that he, not the board, Aaron, has misused and abused the preferred equity unit. Simple as that. But the plan will still, in fact, accomplish the intended goal. Use AMC preferred shares to raise capital to last AMC throughout the rest of 2024 without any negative impact on both AMC Class A common shareholders and preferred shareholders, as previously discussed by defendants Goodman and Merriweather. All right? Now, here's how preferred shares work, people. Real preferred shares. In another company that Adam Aaron's not running, they do their preferred shares like this. Preferred shares, if handled properly, are a unique addition to a company and shareholders' portfolio. They often pay a fixed dividend rate, which is predetermined at the time of issuance. They have priority over common stock when it comes to receiving dividends and distributions. They have priority over common shares in the event of bankruptcy or liquidation. They may be convertible into common shares at a predetermined price or under certain conditions. They have a voting right which can differ from those of common shares. As mentioned, one advantage of owning a preferred share of the company is that they often pay a fixed dividend rate which is determined at the time of the issuance. This means that the investor who purchases common stock can expect to receive a regular dividend at a predetermined rate. All right? That's how a preferred share works. He gave it to us as a dividend, but he never attached a particular right to a dividend to the preferred stock. In other words, when he issued us our preferred shares, it should have had a condition that says that upon this date, shareholders will begin to receive a 25% dividend for every share of APE that they hold. That's how he was supposed to handle that. But he didn't. And watch how I'm going to show you how he messed it up. However, this is where defendant Aaron missed the mark. In issuing the special dividend in Class A shareholders, he did not specify the rights that the preferred shares received as a normal practice when issuing preferred shares. To make matters worse, CEO Aaron made a AMC Class A shareholders pay for their own special dividend by removing approximately 40% of their equity. See how he's fucking it up? Now, this is how they work, all right? Fixed dividend rates, priority over common stocks, priority over common stocks. Adam Aaron fucks it up. This type of mismanagement of the preferred shares is the reason we are here today. Shareholders of both AMC Class A common stock and preferred equity units are fed up with the mismanagement of the preferred shares. Another example of defendant Aaron's incompetence is the issuance of NFTs. NFTs, non-fungible tokens, refer to a type of digital asset that is verified using blockchain technology and is used to present ownership of unique items such as artwork, music, and other creative works. In the context of NFTs, a utility is what gives it its value. The utility is a special feature or function that is associated with a specific NFT. And like the preferred units, CEO Aaron did not issue any specific value to the NFT, thereby making them worthless. In the case of the preferred shares, CEO Aaron mismanaged the distribution of the preferred shares by using them to reward friends instead of looking out for the best interests of shareholders. All right, new proposed settlement. Recently, in a filing dated May 4th, 2023, defendant Aaron declared if the latest settlement is not approved, the company would be put at a significant risk of failing to meet its financial obligations beyond 2023, which would likely result in bankruptcy or financial restructuring and, in turn, the total loss of investments of holders of both common stock and APE stocks. Bullshit. Listen. Defendant Aaron's recent filing suggests a lack of understanding regarding the potential power and benefits of preferred shares. His bleak predictions for the company and both classes of shareholders may be the result of his narrow focus on simply diluting AMC's Class A common stock without considering the bigger picture. Based on the arguments presented here and after reading over 2,000 pages of documents pertaining to this case, this class member proposes this new proposed settlement. Okay? Number one, if it is proven that defendant Aaron was in fact in violation of his fiduciary duties, then he shall not have blanket immunity. Number two, it is requested that the status quo stay in place and that the attorneys remove any mention of a stock split. That defendant Aaron and the board create a new class of preferred shares and call them AMC Preferred Class B shares. This new preferred share shall not have voting rights in a corporate election except to vote in a conversion of preferred shares back into common Class A. AMC's Preferred Class B shares would have priority over Class A common shares in the payment of dividends and distributions. The AMC Preferred Class B shares shall have a fixed dividend rate, which will be predetermined at the time of issuance. For example, each share of AMC Preferred Class B would have a set dividend payment of 50 cents beginning March 1st, 2024. Each holder of AMC's Common Class A stock shall receive 2 shares of AMC Preferred shares as a settlement payment on the day of disbursement for every Class A common stock they own. Now, let's talk about that. They want to give us 1 share of AMC for every 7.5 shares of AMC we own. All right, that's going to add 6 million plus shares of AMC float. In other words, the settlement that they provide is a dilutive settlement. If they do it this way and give AMC shareholders a Class B preferred share that has dividend rights beginning March 1st, give it a chance, AMC, to get out of the situation they in, then we start receiving the dividend if you hold it. If you sell it, you lose the right to the dividend and the next person gets it. But that the defendant Aaron create and clearly communicate to holders of I own AMC NFT is special utility that will give it its value. For example, anyone currently possessing an I own AMC can redeem special discounts at concession and merchandise purchases. That's what gives the NFT its value. Right now, it's sitting on a shelf and it gets absolutely nothing. But if he connects a utility to it and says you can get 10% off on concession and merchandise sales, it now becomes valuable. 8. That the court review the actions of CEO Aaron and executive team and make recommendations on how to improve governance and oversight in these matters to prevent similar incidents from occurring. As the court can plainly see, raising capital is not the problem. Defendant Aaron's insistence that APE shares be converted into common shares is so that he can perform a reverse stock split to help out those that are short AMC common shares and preferred shares. However, this proposed settlement aims to provide a fair and equitable solution to the concerns raised by class members. It will ensure that all shareholders receive the benefits of AMC preferred shares and NFTs while also promoting better governance and oversight of the company's management. For the foregoing reasons, this class member respectfully requests that the court consider and approve this new settlement plan. That special consideration be given by the court when deciding attorney and expenses and incentive awards. For the attorneys in this case, it is requested that they do not receive $20 million attorney fees they are requesting. To be completely fair, the best outcome the attorneys, could come up with was the defendant might have done something wrong, then again he might not have. Their rush to court, rush to settlement shows their intention was to file a premature lawsuit, rush to settle, and rake in $20 million, of which it may be important to note AMC insurance companies refuse to pay the settlement fees because they suspect perhaps fraud has been committed. It may be beyond the court's power to call the insurance companies. AMC is having to sue to gain the settlement money for the defendant's attorney fees, but this class member believes the insurance companies may be able to shed more light as to why they are refusing to pay the settlement fees. And it is with great humility and respect for this court that I offer the proposed settlement. That's it. In my settlement, you don't get one share for every 7.5 share of AMC and dilute AMC after a reverse stock split. No. They can create a preferred B share, give it rights, give it dividends, give it as a special dividend to shareholders. It'll be the settlement that the $100 million that they want AMC to pay AMC. This is the best way to do it, people. So let me get some advice. Tell me down below in the comments, what do you think? Do you think their plan is the best plan, or do you think that perhaps this plan is the best plan? You decide. Tell me down in the comments. Love y'all. Be blessed, and I'll see you in the next video.